Happy Hogmanay, everybody. If you don't know the term Hogmanay is what we call New Year's Eve in Scotland. Because in Scotland, traditionally, New Year's actually a much bigger celebration than Christmas is. Although, obviously, this year's not quite normal. So, yeah, we'll see. Anyways, yes, so I was having a wee nosy, well, I wasn't having a nosy, I was sitting in my jammies with a coffee, watching YouTube yesterday morning. And one of the things I noticed is there's an awful lot of the 2020 review videos. And it tends to just, from what I'm seeing in the gardening sector anyway, folk are just wandering around the garden going, oh, I planted carrots here, they did really well, you know, that kind of thing. And given that one of the things we did this year was the monthly garden tours and talking about what was grown, I thought that would be a bit on the slightly boring side because we've kind of been doing that. So instead, we're going to look at 2020 and we're going to look at it with a bit more of a humorous take, and we're going to talk about the stuff we did specifically on this channel and all the fun we had together. So the first thing I'm going to do then is, I think I'm going to get a cuppa before we start, because you guys, I reckon you won't mind me getting a cuppa, because do you know in 2020 there were 23 different times where I was on video with a cup of tea or a cup of coffee. I bet you hadn't realised it was that much, had you? Yeah, so I'm going to get a cuppa and then we'll get started. Oh, so what else then? This year, do you know what? Yes, 2020 has pretty much sucked. Yeah, that's it. End of. Draw a line under it. It's pretty much sucked, and we can only hope that 2021 gets better. But there have been some really, really good points as well, and I've had so much fun doing these videos with you guys. And I have to be honest, all of you guys, and you're watching the videos and commenting on the videos, has kind of got me through, because it's given me that social element when we were all locked down. It's given me something to look forward to. It's given me goals and things to achieve. So yeah, thank you so much, you guys. Oh, so I can't wait to get started on the seeds later. It's going to be so cool. Got my big catalogue. So 2020 in the garden, that very first video, can you remember what it was? Finally we can get 2020 sorted and I get in the greenhouse. Yeah, I'm gonna have to empty all of this and clean it all up before I can even get in and do anything. It started off with an empty greenhouse that we had to clean. Well, I say empty, it was full of nonsense, but it wasn't being used for plants. And how mad is it then that this year I'm starting off with a greenhouse that's actually got cuttings and plants and things in it? It just shows you that my year, I've progressed as well. The same as you guys, I'm progressing and learning and trying new things as well. And you guys are encouraging me to do that, so it's fabby. But what we also did, we started off with a nice empty greenhouse, but we used the greenhouse and the garden and all that kind of thing to learn from each other. So as I was learning, you guys were learning. 17 tutorials this year. Like, when I say tutorials, I mean videos where I specifically said, let's learn this thing. Now, I generally don't call them tutorials. Okay. I was going to say it's a tutorial today. I don't like that term. It's not a tutorial. We are just sharing the love in the garden today. But videos where we sat down and specifically we tried to learn about a specific thing, like seed catalogues, how to read seed catalogues and seed packets. What do all those words and little symbols and stuff mean? Here's another good one. Determinate and indeterminate. You see this on tomatoes a lot, okay? We did the whole using propagators. We talked about mulch and what it is and why you use it. And can you guess what was our most successful tutorial video this year? It was I tell you it was in lockdown, does that help? Do you know what it was? It was how to keep your shop-bought herbs alive. We are going to talk about these. The herbs that you can buy in the supermarket. And basically, I refer to these as gateway drugs. We looked at, I mean, I use basil as an example, but we just looked at generally how you buy these plants from the shops and they always die really quickly. So we talked about why that happens and how to stop it happening. Super, super successful tutorial this year, so that was awesome. And we then took that further and we used that basil a lot. How you could prune your basil plants and then put them in water, and you could actually propagate from those cuttings that you took. So it's been about a week and a half. So, you guys remember the mug of basil? Now it's only been about a week and a half, but look at that. So the bit that's in the water has started to form roots. And that was one of the big successes this year. I showed you guys was taking little tiny basil plants and I ended up with that big, huge, bushy, lovely basil plant, which is awesome because we use a lot of basil. I made so much pesto this year. It wasn't on the lockdown bingo card though. We did, talking about lockdown bingo, we did sourdough bread together, didn't we? Maybe next time we have to do pesto together or something. Yeah. But yeah, so what else did we do then? That's the thing, it wasn't just about tutorials and hints and tips, because this channel, I tried to keep things varied and have fun with you guys, rather than always being teacher Eli. So we also, this is really good coffee. Supportive wife Kate who got me through this. What we also did was I ran 6 experiments with you guys this year. Yep, so 6 actual experiments where we said, okay, what happens if I do this? Will it work? So the most recent ones you guys know about is my whole thing about monitoring the temperature in the greenhouse. Now, we're all different, but I suspect there's a whole heap of you guys out there who have something like this in the greenhouse. And I've got the greenhouse wrapped in bubble wrap just now. I'm pointing, you can't see it, but you know, it's right there. So it's wrapped in bubble wrap just now and I'm monitoring those temperatures to see, does the bubble wrap make a difference? My greenhouse is unheated, so you know, does it make it slightly warmer for growing, that type of thing. And I'm getting some awesome results now because now we've got proper -5, we've got frost, we've got snow. So I'm actually getting to test it now. Hurrah! Here's a total first for us ever. The greenhouse is actually frozen closed. That's never ever ever happened here before. But that wasn't the only thing we did. We did lots of stuff with carrots as well. I'd said I wanted to do a bit of an experiment and I wanted to get carrots grown in the greenhouse and in the bed to do a bit of a kind of comparison and also to watch how they do over winter, because apparently, now I've never tried this, so apparently if you get them sown kind of round about now and get them going, you should then have carrots ready to be pulled and eaten after the first frosts have gone in spring when the ground thaws, which is quite cool. But some of the ones we've finished, right, we're over here and the quad grow courgettes. So the first thing I'll update you about this then is this was my experiment and I wondered, would having them in some sort of system where they get really even, consistent watering, would that make a difference? Or would they grow just as well in the pot or in the bed, or would they grow better in one? And we discovered, for me, nah, that didn't work. What else did we do? We talked about watering systems and I built the capillary matting bed in the greenhouse. And then I've got some seed trays in here just to raise things off sort of ground level. And this is the thing here. This is capillary matting. So it's exactly the same thing you use in your quad grows. And that was awesome. That was quite amusing as a video because, well, I was making a video about how it didn't work. Well, It works, guys. That soil is most definitely damp at the bottom. Sorry, I'm blown away. I totally wasn't expecting that to work, and it worked. That's so awesome. Yeah, videos don't always go to plan, but that was a happy accident, so that was awesome. And of course, I did a whole thing with you guys this year about dealing with all the pests. So we made our soap spray together, which you've seen me using on the strawberries, the hydrangea, the aquiledias, everything. We made the neem oil. Oh, the neem oil, massive success. Last year, you guys were helping me because I was trying to work out what was eating my bell peppers. I kept finding little holes in all my peppers. You guys thought it might be earwigs, so I thought, excellent, neem spray this year all over the greenhouse, not a single hole in the pepper. So I think massive success was the neem oil on my pepper plants this year. I will be doing that again, and I've got some other bits and pieces like that going to come up in the new year as well, we'll talk about. But what else did I do then? Yeah, so apart from all the awesome things we grew that were super successful, like the red currants and the black currants, Fabby, I was eating so many red currants this year. It was great, the harvest we were getting. But I won't be doing that next year because we discovered that we're not actually massive fans of red currants and black currants. So we gave those plants to a neighbour. But it means next year I'm going to be growing blackberries. Oh God, I've said it now, so now if it doesn't work, yeah, I bought a couple of blackberry plants. Marie and Angie, you guys are awesome. You both bought us some coffees on the Buy Me a Coffee website. And I used those pennies from the coffees to buy the blackberry plants. So you guys watch out. The video coming up on that is thanks to you guys. So thank you. Excuse me. Yeah, and that was the thing. Loads of success. The strawberries. Enough said. We did really well with the carrots, the beetroot, the courgettes. We had a really great year. I've already said the peppers, the tomatoes as well. On the whole, tomatoes in the greenhouse were amazing this year, but we did have the sad Jim moment. Yeah, Jim didn't make it. And it was fun, the whole naming one of the plants and getting you guys to follow along and having the Jim updates on social media and stuff was really good fun this year. It's something we normally do in the blog, and it's the first time we've done it on YouTube, so we'll do that again because it gives us a focus and things that we can all talk about. But it's just unfortunate that Jim didn't make it this year. So, oh, boo. But we did have loads of fun this year. I mean, the foxgloves, wow. Boy, the foxgloves were so successful. We bought 3 foxglove plants at Garden in Scotland. Obviously not this year, last year. And they were £8 each. But from those 3 plants, we filled the garden because I collected the seeds in the autumn before. So that's one of my goals for 2021. I want to fill the garden with foxgloves again. So fingers crossed. I haven't planted them up already this year. Last year I had them going by now already, and I've been lazy this year. So we'll see how that does. But talking about the foxgloves, one of the things that happened this year, foxgloves, we spoke about little tiny seeds and sowing little tiny seeds. Well, the foxgloves are little tiny seeds and they accidentally got mixed in with compost. But one of the funniest moments though was they were in the beetroots as well, in a nice neat row in with the beetroot, like they had been planted deliberately. Yeah, I'm actually a bit suspicious that Kate planted that on purpose as a laugh. Speaking of which, remember this? Okay, and I will explain why I've got it in this bowl of water. Yeah, somebody taking over the channel, saying hello to friends. Hi, Kenny. Yeah, not just Kate though. This was a year where I think the cats decided this was their YouTube channel this year as well. They were in the greenhouse. They were annoying me while I was talking to camera. They were up on the beds. Yeah, and let's not forget Penny, continually eating all the plants. Yeah. So all in all, it's been awesome this year. I mean, big successes this year like compost. Oh my word. I've had so many buckets of compost from that hot bin composter this year. It took me a while to get there, I'm not going to lie. It was not a smooth journey, but I'm now at the point where I'm really comfortable with the bin. I understand its workings and I'm getting really great compost out of it. The glamorous life of a YouTuber. Playing in the dirt. How come I don't get the fancy sunny holidays and the fancy cars and the one wheel and all that kind of thing? I think I'm in the wrong subject area. We celebrated our 1,000 subscriber this year. I had all these plans for when this eventually happened one day. We were going to have this big fancy party video, like you see them all doing with the helium balloons and the party poppers, and here we are in lockdown. Yeah. Oh, and we can't forget, because probably the most exciting thing that happened this year, I was on Beech Grove Garden. How exciting!
Now we're going to try and answer some more of your gardening questions, and I'm going to start off first with Eli.
Hey Beech Grove, I'm Eli. This is my garden in Musselburgh. Not so sunny Musselburgh, but I'm hoping you guys can help me with a question. Okay, for you guys who don't understand the excitement of that, Beech Grove Garden is like the Scottish version of Gardener's World, okay? And was it this year? No, it was last year. I did a wee video as a dedication to Jim McCall, who was a presenter on Beech Grove, and he's the guy that got me gardening, okay? Scotland, there's a programme called the Beech Grove Garden, which is super important to us because it does things in our climate and tells us when we should be planting, etc. So today I'm going to dedicate my wee tour of what's happening in the greenhouse to the guy who inspired me and got me started gardening 6 years ago, and his name is Jim McCall, and it was announced today that even though he has been with Beech Grove since the very first day it started 40 years ago, he's retiring. It was announced today. I used to compete against Jim. Obviously, he was on TV on Beech Grove and has never met me or heard of me. But I used to compete when he was doing his tomatoes. Every week I'd be like, who's got more tomatoes? Whose plants are bigger? And he retired and it was really sad. But Beech Grove, I was one of the viewers' videos on Beech Grove this year. Talking about our tree. Yeah, that happened this year. That was quite sad. So you guys know the rowan tree was dying. It got damaged and then disease set in. The trunk was rotten and it came down, and maybe 3 storms ago, it came down. So that was a bit sad. Yeah. But yeah, so how exciting, Beech Grove. And I was on Alan Titchmarsh's show as well. Hello Alan, welcome to my garden in Musselburgh, where I grow for about 1.5 seconds. Yeah, you go to all that effort to make a video and they don't even show it. They show like literally you saying 2 words. Not be doing that again. So Beech Grove all the way now. Or maybe it's Gardener's World next year, guys. Yeah. Oh, a wee robin's just appeared in the garden. Sorry, distracted. Do you know what I'm like? Distracted by birds. Yeah. So your job this year, Beech Grove are calling out and saying for folk, if you're gardeners and stuff, do you want to come and do videos for Beech Grove? So I hope you've all been emailing Beech Grove and tweeting Beech Grove and Instagramming Beech Grove and telling them about me. Yeah. Hint. Right, okay, that's enough of me waffling. So next year, what are we going to be doing in the garden next year? Well, we are going to be doing loads of fun. So we are going to be starting the peppers and tomatoes early this year, okay? You know how every year I don't get sown my seeds until March, and I'm always miserable because Instagram is full of all these folk that have already got plants by then. I'm going to be trying something to get them going a bit earlier this year, and we'll talk about that in a couple of weeks. And I'm going to be doing a bit of a partnership with a company because we're going to be doing a lot of work in the raised beds this year, and we're going to be doing a lot of things talking about our soil and our soil health. So I will tell you more about that stuff. But on top of that, it's going to be all the usual. So you already know we're going to be growing blackberries for the first time. I haven't spoken about the blueberries in a long time because I was super lazy and stopped looking after them, so they stopped producing. So we're going to do that again together. The blueberries in the pots, we're going to get them going again this year, and this is my promise to you guys, okay, and you have to hold me to this. I'm going to look after the blueberries this year properly, okay? How's that sound? Yeah? Right, okay. What that leaves me to do now is I'm going to go through all of my seeds and my catalogue, and I'm going to start planning and deciding what I need to buy for next year. But you'll have to join me next week for that one, because that's next week's video and we're going to talk about that. But I hope this has been just a daft bit of fun with you guys today, because that's all it's meant to be. Just a bit of fun, and a bit of a walk down memory lane. So I will see you all next week. And I know it's Hogmanay with me, but it's New Year with you guys. So, Happy New Year, everyone. See you.